So this is a explainer for the cosmological model. There was a video on YouTube, however that video didn't have any sound, so we're hoping that this video has sound and it'll be a better explainer video. There's a 5 plus 1 and 4 plus 1 dimensional entity whom develop a 3 plus 1 dimensional quantum computer. That quantum computer is the Tegmarkian multiverse. The Tegmarkian multiverse is Tegmarkian because Tegmarkian multiverse specifically has limited amounts of entropy, which indicates that there aren't an infinity number of universes. There's only a finite number, but that finite number is very large. The Entanglement-Manifold multiverse is a Hilbert space, so we'll consider that the Hilbert space. There is, just for all intents and purposes, we're just going to say there's no method of information injection from the 5 plus 1, 4 plus 1 entities into the 3 plus 1 Tegmarkian multiverse. Quantum computer. In the Tegmarkian multiverse, the simulation starts by there being a long frame of existence before the first perturbation. The entanglement manifold is able to perturbate the system well enough on its own that it produces a perturbation. The perturbation comes from the entanglement manifold, so perturbation, 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 black hole. It reaches the Tolkien-Oppenheimer-Volkoff limit. It collapses into a black hole. That black hole kind of exists, probably radiates depending on whether or not the manifold is got a temperature or not, or anything. There could be Hawking radiation going early, or maybe not, it depends, but it doesn't matter. You have a black hole. You have perturbation, 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 another black hole. The black hole is because of the Calabrian manifold. The black holes merge. Now it's a supermassive black hole. Perturbation, 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 black holes merge. Now you have two supermassive black holes. Now the two supermassive black holes merge, and you have an ultramassive black hole. Those are the black holes that reach the Nariai size limit as described by Professor Dr. Bousseau. That Nariai sized black hole grows larger in size. As a result of it growing larger in size, there's one of 5 possible outcomes that cause the singularity to suddenly and rapidly expand, very similar to inflation. So it doubles in size so fast and it gets so big. The difference between our model and the other model is that our singularity is discernibly sized and shaped. So it's not an infinite number, it's a finite number. And that finite number expands and becomes our universe. Entropy shifts from the singularity to the entanglement manifold, so like a heliopause or a heliosphere. The light around the sun, the heliosphere, the farthest place around the sun has a light cloud, and it's called a heliosphere or heliopause. Or the heliopause would be for entanglement, the entropy. So entropy would shift from the singularity into the entanglement manifold, like a heliopause or a heliosphere. So everything would be orderly, nice and orderly, low entropy. All the high entropy would be out here, low entropy would be in here. And then the singularity would expand, and then as it expanded, the high entropy outside would filter in through the entanglement manifold into the system, causing the system to be more adiabatic. And so then entanglement would filter back into, entropy would filter into the universe through entanglement, which would be a tensor network. From this Big Bang, the Big Bang expands, cools. Once it cools, it forms all the number of helium-4 that we observe. The entanglement manifold exists, permeates throughout space, deeper than space-time, so it's a manifold deeper than space-time. It's the manifold on which the multiverse, the Tegmarkian multiverse, exists. And from there, there's constructive interference, destructive interference, phase transition are the three waveforms. Those three waveforms manifest planets and galaxies, well, actually galaxies and planets, or galaxies and stars and planets. Then from stars and planets, life emerges. From life emerging, consciousness emerges. From consciousness emerging, natural philosophy emerges, and that's about 2.6 thousand years ago or whatever. And then from natural philosophy, we have all of the current sciences that we have today. So that is the general overall idea for our cosmological model. It explains where the singularity, where the Big Bang came from, where the singularity caused the Big Bang, or, well, that did cause, it technically the singularity would have shifted, and that would have been a cause, or could have merged with another black hole beyond the Nariai size limit. It'd been too big for its laws. It could be sedimentary reasons. It could be other reasons. There's a total of 5 or 6 reasons that we have so far for possible starts rather than an inflaton, which doesn't actually explain anything. It just says that there's a magic field that disappears, and that inflaton field is what caused the Big Bang, and that's not satisfactory. So we actually have a causal mechanism. So we have things coalescing into a Big Bang, then the causal mechanism, then the Big Bang, and then the cooling. So anyway, that's our model. Hopefully this video has sound so that we don't have to worry about it. But thank you for listening. Go to helicalactual.replit.app or helicalnetwork.com. Donate to our 501c3, please and thank you, our 501c3 helical that came up with this cosmological model and publish it to the public for free. And so as a result of that, we are asking for donations because it's a good cosmological model and it beats the current paradigm by explaining more. Or you can also look up our research, researchgate.net/profile/Michael-Barry, BARRY-29. When you go to researchgate.net/profile/Michael, MICHAEL-BARRY-29, you can find all of our research, and that research contains this cosmological model and the applications and extensions of that model in a way that is intuitive and understandable. Thank you.